We manage a $70 million fund, which is fully invested as of now, over 9 investments. We are dedicated investors only in the healthcare and the pharmaceutical sector. And we are currently raising our new fund of a $200 million, which we should be able to start investing from June of 2019 onwards. IVF as a sector per se definitely is going to see significant growth in the coming years. With rising disposable incomes, and with the kind of lifestyle issues that people in general are facing, you will see the spend growing here. Because ultimately, let's not forget the fact that this is a disposable healthcare spend, not necessarily a necessity per se. If somebody were to be suffering from an illness, cancer, or diabetes, or any of these things, these are secular trends. A person not being able to conceive doesn't necessarily make it a case of saying, oh, I'm going to die. Fine, life goes on. So to that extent, the segment that will be addressing this area of IVF is going to be more about people who can afford it. And therefore, from an overall growth point of view, we definitely see a significant growth. However, as an investment professional, when I look at that space, we don't necessarily get swayed by the fact that, oh, it's a great market opportunity and therefore it's a great place to invest in. Because the nuances, the minor nuances of this industry, especially the IVF side, when it comes to technology, when it comes to people, the embryologists, all of these things are still bottlenecks in being able to make this business really grow very well. So therefore, to that extent, I would say cautiously optimistic about how I would like to play this space as an investor. But insofar as IVF as a category is concerned, definitely there's a lot of room to grow. There's definitely a huge room for improving governance, a huge room to improve, transparency regarding the whole process. And therefore, there's a lot of work which needs to be done. And I hope with these kind of conclaves, where there is more awareness amongst the doctor, and as I understand, you all are doing it city by city. So I'm sure it's going to help raise the level of, if I may say, the conversation with regard to IVF as a healthcare category, and at the same time, hopefully improve it to scale it better. As I expect the scenario only to significantly improve in terms of governance. And we are hoping that with these kind of programs, we are able to raise the level of awareness amongst doctors to put their house in order. Because this is a wonderful business where a doctor can run a center and happily make decent money if he is satisfied about doing that. For that, investors like us are not needed. They happily make enough money. Where investors are needed will be more about how this business model can scale. And contrary to a lot of people, my view is the fact that I would like to back businesses which are far more integrated than merely just IVF clinics. And I see limitations in growing those businesses. So I would prefer to be a more end-to-end player. I would back somebody like that. And we are looking for such opportunities. And definitely, when people invite investors into their house, it will come with, beyond just return expectation, it will come with a lot of other expectations with regard to how they manage their business, what kind of operating efficiencies they build, what kind of scalability they build around that. And those are some things which I think the doctor community needs to yet come up the curve. And those are some of those things I would like to look out for when I'm looking at a doctor and I'm looking at an opportunity, saying that do these people even have the mindset? Or are they still running on a certain ego trip saying that I'm helping giving birth to children? So that's the kind of a thing we would be very careful about what kind of opportunities we back.